Dear students, greetings to all. In this module, we'll be continuing with our ongoing chapter, Chapter 6, Molecular Basis of Inheritance. In this module, we will be discussing about translation. Now, what do you understand by the term translation? Or how do you define translation? The process by which amino acids polymerize to form a polypeptide is called translation. Amino acids are linked together with the help of peptide bond. Talking about the translation or the protein synthesis process. The protein synthesis machinery consists of basically the mRNA, the tRNA, which carries the anticodon, the ribosomes having two subunits, large and small, the amino acids, and the amino acyl tRNA synthetase. For the formation of peptide bond, peptidyl transferase enzyme is required. The polymerization of amino acids takes place in the cytosol with the help of the ribosomes. Ribosomes are called as the protein factories as they synthesize proteins over them. It has the structural RNAs and nearly 80 different proteins. In inactive stage, the ribosome has two unequal parts, the small and the large. This is the larger subunit and this one being the smaller one. The two subunits, they come up together only at the time of protein formation. The smaller subunits shown here, it fits over the larger subunit just like a cap but leaves a tunnel for the mRNA. This process of coming together of both the ribosomal subunits at the time of protein synthesis is called association. And magnesium ion, that is Mg2+, is required as a catalyst, that's a metal ion, so as to speed up the rate of reaction. Now, ribosomes in general form a rosette or helical group at the time of protein synthesis, and then they are called as polysomes or polyribosomes. Talking about the mRNA, which we can see over here, where M refers to messenger RNA. It bears the genetic information which it has derived from the DNA, and it has got the codons. We can see over here that the codons, they can be read as CUC. So that's the unit of three nitrogenous bases which come up together so as to form a codon. Now the tRNA, which is getting the amino acids over here, it is called as T refers to transfer soluble RNA, and will pick up the amino acid and take the amino acid to mRNA over those particular codons. Like for example, what we can see over here is the codon that is GCA. Now the anticodon for that will be CGU, as A forms a double bond with U and G, it forms a triple bond with C. So corresponding to G there will be C, corresponding to C there will be G, and corresponding to A there will be presence of U. And thus the anticodon for GCA, that will be CGU. Now the activation of amino acids by tRNA and their linking to the specific tRNA is called as charging of tRNA. While a tRNA can pick only a specific amino acid. So the ribosomes, they actually act as catalyst in bacteria, and that is the enzyme ribozyme that is required for the formation of peptidyl bond. And when we talk about the enzyme which helps in the formation of peptide bond, that's the peptidyl transferase enzyme. The translation process, the steps which are involved, the first step, that's the charging of the tRNA, followed by initiation, elongation, and the termination process. So firstly, there needs to be activation of tRNA, and the tRNA needs to get, the amino acid needs to, after activation, needs to get attached to the tRNA. So that is called as charging of tRNA. Now talking about the charging or the amino acylation of tRNA. So when we have a look at the diagrammatic representation over here, so this is the structural representation of the tRNA, where it's got the 3' hydroxylin and 5' phosphate group. 3' arm is a little bit longer, and we'll see that there are arms having loop with them. Now, the arm which is present at the base, that is called as the anticodon arm, and that is responsible for recognizing and binding codons on the mRNA. The small protrusion is referred to as the variable arm. It is also called as extra or optional arm. It occurs only in some tRNA, and it may be small, containing just 2 to 3 nucleotides. The other arms which are present, that is the dihydrouridine arm, which is also referred to as DHU arm, and the one close to the 3' end, that is T5C arm, where 5 stands for a modified nucleotide called pseudouridine. So here the anticodons are present corresponding to the mRNA, and the corresponding amino acid is carried by the tRNA. Like for example, here the amino acid which is being carried, that is alanine, and therefore it is referred to as alanyl tRNA alanine. That means amino acylated tRNA, the tRNA which is charged with the amino acid. Now for the charging, firstly, of the tRNA, the amino acid needs to get activated. So this amino acid combines with ATP. So now if we take the amino acid to be methionine, that's because the starting codon is AUG, or if we take the amino acid which is given over here, that is alanine, so the amino acid plus ATP plus the enzyme, that is amino acyl tRNA synthetase, they'll form a complex which is called as, which can be written as amino acid AMP dash enzyme complex. So that is amino acyl AMP enzyme complex. And there is liberation of PPI, which is referred to as the pyrophosphate. Now this complex, it will get attached to the tRNA. So when it attaches with the tRNA, only just the amino acid will remain there, and the AMP and the enzyme, they are released free in the medium. Thus the activation of tRNA is facilitated. So now this is brought about with the help of the enzyme, that is amino acyl tRNA synthetase. The enzyme, it contains the active site. Now if we talk about the enzyme, that is amino acyl tRNA synthetase, it has got the active site to which the tRNA will bind, and tRNA has got the arm, which is the arm with which it binds to the tRNA. So the tRNA will get attached at one of the at one of the active site, and at the other active site there will be the presence of the amino acid. So finally this amino acid will get attached to tRNA, and the enzyme will get released in the medium. Thus the charging of the tRNA takes place, which is then followed by the process of initiation, elongation and termination, leading to the formation of the polypeptide chain at the end. In this module, we had basically discussed about the translation, the introduction related to translation, and discussed about the structure of the tRNA. In the next module, that is the part 2 of translation, we'll be discussing about the initiation, elongation and termination processes in detail. Thank you.